Welcome back to MASL Primetime. The Tacoma Stars are a franchise with a rich history going back decades. The original team was founded in 1983, and they actually hold the record for the largest crowd to ever witness an arena game when over 21,000 packed the Tacoma Dome back in 1987. They love their Stars in the Pacific Northwest, and we take a closer look now at the squad in this week's MASL Team Spotlight.
Trying to send up Perera. Beautiful throw. One-touch shot and goal! Perera makes it count with a dazzler.
A legendary player suiting up for a legendary franchise. Last season, Nick Perera added the role of player-coach to his resume, leading the Tacoma Stars to a playoff berth before bowing out in the first round to San Diego, while himself picking up the league's Most Valuable Player award in the process. Today, Nick shares his thoughts on the past, present, and future of the club that's proud to call the Pacific Northwest home.
Yeah, I mean, last year's team was not too dissimilar from this year's team if you look at the makeup of who we have. I think that obviously we went through a little bit of a curve. There was a change in coaches. Obviously, I took over 3 or 4 games in. So that was definitely a challenge and an adjustment period for everybody. But I think we finished really well. We had some players who had some breakout seasons. I mean, Mike Ramos jumped onto the scene with an obscene amount of points, and I think it's still kind of crazy he didn't make any of the teams of the year. And I'm really pleased with this year that we started off better than we started last year, but not quite where we finished, if that makes sense. So we've got Danny, who is arguably, for the last, 20 years, been the best goalie around. I think that the definition of this team and what it's always kind of been about and what this organization has been about is the collective, right? And you look at the franchises that have won historically, the Milwaukees, the Baltimores, they throw 3 lines at you of consistently good quality players where the level never drops. I think that's one thing we have this year that separates us is that our rotations are pretty equal. We try to do everything together, and we try to make sure that the collective outweighs the individual at all times. The city of Tacoma is a hardworking, down-to-earth city, and I think that's kind of the strength and the heart of this organization too, is that we have values about respect and about hard work and about ethic. Organizations have souls, and attitude reflects leadership. So when you see a player behave a certain way, I think that reflects not just the coach or the general manager or the owner of the time, but just the history of the organization. So very proud of the team, very proud of the organization, and proud to be a part of it.
Okay, Nick and his boys were hosting the Ontario Fury last weekend, and the Stars draw first blood.
Ball down low, trickle toward goal and scored! Send in the Bears, and thank you very much, Chase Hansen.
The second annual Teddy Bear Toss benefiting Toys for Tots. Hundreds of bears collected. Great job, Tacoma fans. Once they got back to business, Mekong de Abreu evening things up for the Fury right there. Second quarter of play, Juan Tapete slams it past Danny Waltman to give Ontario its first lead. In the third, though, Tacoma strikes back. It's Mr. MVP, Nick Perera. Spinorama shot that finds the back of the net to tie it up. Fourth quarter, tied at 3. Michael Ramos, an absolute screamer top shelf to give the Stars the lead once again. Down 5-4 now. Frank Teyu, 2016 MASL MVP, showing off the elite skills. But then it's Jameel Cox with one of the goals of the year. Cheeky little back heel there. And that would prove to be the game winner as the Stars take it by an 8-5 count. Okay, the Harrisburg Heat have been impressive this season, and they were hosting struggling Rochester. Late in the first quarter, Julian Escobar gives the Heat the lead. The Lancers respond, though. 13 seconds later, Michael Cunningham shelves it to knot it up at 1 apiece. Second half, Harrisburg leading 4-2 when Ty Hall rips a beauty past Brian Wilkin to make it 5-2. Fourth quarter, last week's player of the week, Dom Francis, taken over. Roof Daddy there, and then he taps in the nice feed from Daniel Villela. Rochester was down 8-2 when Jeremy Ortiz smashes a nice one into the far corner. They'd add one more, but Harrisburg just too much on the day. They double up the Lancers, 8-4. Okay, back to San Diego. And the Sockers hosting the Sonora Solas. 9:24 in. Eduardo Velez gets the party started for the blue and gold. And then, that's just Ole. Little dancing with the young fan. Love it. But then, Jose Armenta. Oh, baby. Crushing it past Boris Pardo. That might be the best one-timer we've seen all year so far. 30 seconds later, Enrique Quinez deposits. Sonora up 2-1 after one. Second quarter, look at the sick volley here by Hiram Ruiz. And yeah, have a seat, sir. You deserve it. After that one, 2-2 tie. And then leading 3-2, Brandon Escoto scores, but pays the price going hard to the net. Goes down. He'd be okay, though. That proved to be the winner as San Diego triumphs 6-3.